only.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Up only.
Hello and welcome to Up Only TV. I'm Ledger. We'll be here in just a second with Cobie and Lomashuk, the most anticipated guest in I don't know how long, a while. Cobie called him the best trader of all time or something along those lines, so no pressure to Konstantin. Before we get to it, we want to say thank you to a great sponsor. It's Blockfolio. Just go to uponly.tv/Blockfolio. Check it out. Make a trade today. Track your portfolio. Watch that ETH dominance go up as Cobie's euphoria also goes up at the same time. The same exact linear rate. Go to uponly.tv/Blockfolio. Make your first trade there today. If you hadn't done it already, you're missing out. It's super easy. It's mobile first. Track your portfolio just like you've always loved. You know what to do. uponly.tv/Blockfolio. Cobie, hello.
Hello, mate. I wish that the chat could see what you do when the pre-roll is happening, and you're like,
It's my little
you take it,
orchestra.
very seriously, as though there's more than just the three of us here. All right. Well, it might be another one of those streams where we stream and the price only goes down during. But Up Only TV does not take responsibility for any long positions that you may be in while we stream. That's nothing to do with us. That's a choice that you made. You know when the stream was, and it's not our fault. We don't know why this happens. Today we've got Konstantin. And Konstantin, I'm going to do a little intro for you before you introduce yourself, just so I can embarrass you further. Konstantin is the man who invented diamond hands. He still holds gold that was mined from the core of the earth when they first discovered gold. That's how he never fucking sells. He's got his Ethereum ICO wallet. Just the Ethereum is unmoved. He's just the most diamond-handed man of all time. However, before apparently you need to turn the volume up, Ledger. Everyone's saying they can't hear shit.
My volume is up. I've got your volume all the way up. It's Konstantin's. I'll try harder. You just keep doing you.
All right. Before we start, I got to do a disclaimer. Konstantin is one of the co-founders of the LIDO DAO. I'm also one of the co-founders of the LIDO DAO. We both hold significant amount of LIDO and therefore are very positively biased to LIDO. Any promotions of LIDO during the stream will be our also natural actual feelings. However, it's also very good for us to talk about it. So there we go, disclaimer out of the way. Chat says audio is better, and since it's better, Konstantin, welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Do you want to give a quick intro to, like, a real intro without me just rambling about you?
Yeah, I understand that I'm on a comedy show. Thank you for this, such hype introduction. Intro. I started in this space, I think, in 2011. I heard about Bitcoin, but I didn't mine anything. So I had a friend who had diamond hands, and he mined a lot of Bitcoins. He had about 0.5% of hash power of all Bitcoin on his balcony. And he said me let's do mining together, and I said him no. Why? Because I thought it was a Ponzi scheme. So I didn't catch all this idea. I didn't understand that many of people are thinking about the crypto that it is a Ponzi. Because when someone tell you that you can earn money by doing something on the balcony, and you can just print money on your balcony, it's look like not really good, not really healthy. And then in 2014, after a lot of time when I follow this space, and I saw so many people who are much more clever than I am. They catch all these ideas about decentralization, about new P2P cash system, but I start to follow them, because I think if so much clever people are working on such products, that means that it is something inside that I didn't catch. And so in 2014, I started to work on with my partners, so we start to work on Cyberfund. And Cyberfund, it was just a website where we collect data, metadata about different blockchains. We collect price feeds like CoinMarketCap or Blockfolio right now. So it was a Blockfolio in 2014.
Nice.
And it was about like 1,000 people who want to use Blockfolio in 2014 because so it wasn't so much assets, but what we did really well in 2014, we took all the market from like CoinMarketCap at that time. CoinMarketCap has already exist, and so like we took all the assets with valuation with $100,000, more than $100,000, and it was only like 100 of them. On all the market, it was only 100 of assets with valuation of more than 100K. And we split them to blockchains. We call them DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. It wasn't so popular that time. And also decentralized applications that work on top of it. It was already some like counterparty and some other. And we split these blockchains to proof of stake, proof of work, because it was already some experiments like BitShares, like Peercoin, like Next, who already tried to experiment on proof of stake. And but most of these 86 blockchains were Bitcoin forks. And so we tried to analyze it, try to understand what is the difference between them. We also calculate Bitcoin dominance index. It was about 87%, I think. And we make a thesis that it is a new asset class, that it is a new asset class, that we can invest in it, and nobody believes in it, but only we are. Like 4 crazy people from Russia, from small city like Kaliningrad. We tried to work on this Blockfolio in 2014. And then we also invested our pocket money. So I bought my first Bitcoin. The price was $600. So I'm not so diamond hands like some people who bought it much, much cheaper.
Wait, what year was that it was $600?
Yeah, so it is 2014, I think, the middle of 2014.
I gotcha.
It's after the Mt. But Mt. go down, and it was crypto winter after Mt. And the price then the price only go down after that. It's usual, in crypto when you're buying. All going down, and it was down up to 250, I think, something like that, even maybe cheaper. And but my co-founder, he showed me white paper of Ethereum and co-founder of Cyberfund, and we start to research it. We start to read it, try to catch it. What is the difference? Why it's so cool? And so we put our pocket money to Ethereum crowdsale, and it was we believe in it. So, and the team has delivered Ethereum, and it's still working. It's still working from the first day. It's not too much updates, but it's nice MVP. It's the most expensive computer. Yeah, and after that, so it's $1 billion per month, but on the most decentralized computer. But it's not so powerful. You can't compute more than on small machine on AWS, but it's really give you, it found the product market fit with all this DeFi market. Yeah, and so back in 2015, we started to publish all our track records, in the just Google table. We use blockchain as just in Google table, we collect all hashes, all transactions, because it's transparent, it's auditable. You can prove all transactions, and we start to show our track record, how we invest and use this asset class. And then some of our friends came to us and said, we want to invest in you, we want to invest with you in this crypto assets because you catch it better. And so we built such a fund where we give an option to our clients to invest with us. So they send us Bitcoins, we calculate net asset value, charge 5% fee, and gave them the token. So it was a pretty simple product, but the network effect is pretty good because the track record was perfect. The market started to be really bullish. and it started to grow like so fast. We have about like up to 500 like new investment inside the fund. And in 2017, we made about like 7,000% to our investors on like for who invested like on 1st January and, for example, exit on 12th of December or like in the end of December. And how it was not only like on one asset, it was on portfolio. So the data was pretty good. But in the middle of 2017, we closed this fund. Closed for new money. The old money just worked. Why we closed it? It was two events. One event was about, it was a parity hack. I was in Ibiza. It was a presentation of Polkadot. It was the first like mention of Polkadot on public. It was a small event with 40 people. It was very like a nice party. Then this party like parity hack happened when it's a lot of money were withdrawn from multi-signatures. That was done by parity. And it was like about 30 millions were withdrawn and stolen by hackers, and it was a white hackers and pretty good guys. They're still my friends. So they were white hackers, and so they helped to withdraw the money to save wallet. And so it's a nice story, but not for this call maybe. And after this event, we used like multi-signatures because we had it like in our like we have like the rules that we can hold only like assets on multi-signature because it is a risk to hold it in one key. And we use like the multi-signature on Ethereum that was written by Gavin Wood. So like it was like a black swan when it happened, but still. And we made the decision to close it also because we didn't find a legal structure for it. Crypto is a pretty complex from legal side. And when I spent 6 months with a legal team, and I didn't find how to like make it 100% good from everyone, because what we tried to do, we tried to deliver a blockchain traded fund when you can trade the token of the fund on their blockchain. But we had like asset managers, we have it was like a security, and that's why we made the decision just to close this fund, and we did it so every user could withdraw money like for 4 years, and now it's closed. After that, I just continued to invest my own money as P2P capital. From 2018, we don't have any LPs still, so it's just my own money and my partners who based in US, and we just co-invest in our own money by this brand. So we invested, for example, in seed stage Solana, many others like 1inch, and a lot of different other cool projects like Lazy Ledger, and and also in 2018, because I invested in all this field, I didn't quit from the market in 2018. I wasn't so clever because it was my first cycle. You can read a good post about cycles from Paradigm, by Fred Erzam. They have a pretty good post what you need to do like with crypto and different cycle. And so I didn't quit of the market. I just hold all these assets. And I started also a business called P2P Org. It's a staking service. We're now one of the biggest staking providers in the world. But back then in 2018, I just ran a node with my DevOps, one employee. And we started to work on a node provider. Why we did it? Because we still think that it is really important to bring decentralization to all these networks. If they will not be decentralized, all the value will be destroyed. And that's why we start to work on P2P.org. We start to run Tezos nodes and Cosmos. In 2020, we won a Game of Zones of Cosmos. We took 2 prizes from 3 main. Then we launched Polkadot network. We are pretty big there. And the next stage was to run, to start to work on Ethereum. And of course, we followed Ethereum research for 2 years. What we found out that like because of this complexity of, a launch of a beacon chain, it was a pretty complex solution how people can stake ETH. It was a lot of problems inside. Like you can stake more lower than 32 ETH. Like your assets will be liquid for a long time. You need to be like pretty technical. It's not a lot of good services to run the nodes. So also for us as a validators, for us it was a pretty complex to provide this service to our like clients, customers. And we also understood that the network will be pretty centralized. Because of this complexity, the more complex staking, the more centralized it is. Why? Because big players like exchanges, they already have clients and they can convert their clients to their stakers. And that's why we start to work on LIDO because of these issues. Our mission is to make staking simple, secure, and keep Ethereum decentralized. And so we launched LIDO to deliver, simple service for it. Yeah, this is a long intro, but yeah, maybe.
No, it's good. It's like the mini biography of your crypto journey. With all of the different things that you talked about, when you got into them, how early you were, the biggest thing I want to know is like, do you know or have you decided like what your end game is? Are you just chasing interesting technology, or how do you not look at this ICO wallet of Ethereum that you got for under $1 or whatever, and now it's $3,000, $4,000 each, and like, does that not tempt you to say, all right, peace out, I'm just gonna go like do other stuff? Like what draws you to stick around?
Yeah, I think like when I start to work on it, I should mention that I had a business and I still have a business in retail. That is pretty profitable. I am live on this business, so I didn't spend my crypto.
So you don't need the crypto because the business is profitable, and that allows you to keep doing other stuff.
Yeah, for good. And I started to like work in in this IT business because I thought that I want to make something global, to work with the software from like any piece of or any place of our place of in our planet. And because when I started to work in crypto, I didn't work at all. It was like my hobby. And when you're working, you love it. You like it is like very, I am a idealist. And when I start to work in this space, it was like a gold mine, but not gold mine because it's so like the price is going up, because it's like, it's not maybe like a good example, but when everything's you like innovator, you can like find new things. I start to read these researchers from like Ethereum, from like white paper of Bitcoins and white paper of Ethereum. There's a lot of different other researchers, and it's like it's a lot of things, a lot of new things that are inspiring me. And I invested in like Ethereum, and then to start to invest in different other assets like Definity, Cosmos, Polkadot, many others. And just because it was so interesting, we have a pretty like a good thesis about that, because we try to understand what we have, what type of markets we will have in the future, and so we define some type of the markets like that. We'll have a storage market, we'll have prediction market, we'll have a new social network market, and different other like decentralized exchanges. And we start to try to find like best teams in these markets and to invest money in these teams. And it was a pretty exciting time. And I'm a big believer in Ethereum. I think it is a public good. It is a thing that makes so much for all us. Not only for crowdsale investors, but for many people. Why? Because before Ethereum, if you look on a technology company, where have they raised the seed? I usually like in Silicon Valley, it was like some amount of funds like A16Z who like invested in Facebook and different other, I don't know, like startups like Airbnb, Slack, many others, and Uber and Tesla and some other, it was like a closed group of people who can like invest like in this market and they're on an early stage. And then when Bitcoin happened, first internet happened, we start to send information all over the world. Then like when Bitcoin happened, we could send the money like any place without any border from any party. And when Ethereum like started a crowd sale, it was one of the first auditable, transparent fundraising that was accessible from all over the world. And I am just a boy from Kaliningrad who is not like, for me, it was impossible to invest in such projects, like that we raised money like from A16Z to like participate in the round. And for me, it was like, and like this crowd sale was available from all over the world. I mean, in Africa, like in any type of country, in any like any country, any people, any person can participate in these crowd sales. And this is amazing because it changed, the way how capital were raised. And now it's changing the world step by step. So like in 2014, we have a lot of ideas about DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, about different like blockchains, about different type of markets. And now it's happening. It's so interesting, the prices can go up and down, like now, but I'm up only, I'm 100% up only because it is a trend. It is a trend. Ethereum is a new money, and it will change how money work. Ethereum is a new economy that has economy inside. And so I don't see that something can stop it. Of course, it can be like another crypto winter. Maybe it will be different. Maybe why it will be different? Because in 2017, it was a lot of ICOs who raised money for something like really interesting, but what was never delivered, a lot of teams are pretty good. I did maybe like 60 investments and I wasn't angry on any of the team, because it was my money, it was my decision. I invested in all these projects and most of the teams failed because it wasn't possible to build this product. Well, some of the reason was that technology wasn't ready. It's still not ready. We are paying like $100 per transaction.
That's all you're paying is $100.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
it's been higher.
More. Yeah. So from other side, like some project like Spunk Chain, who did like I don't know like cam video like in the internet. Their goal I don't know to show like models, and they did a scaling solution for Ethereum, like in 2017, because they can't just send like cheap transactions. And so like all these projects were raised money and they didn't have technology stack to deliver the product. And a lot of them failed. And now it is another situation when decentralized finance found a product market fit. So it will be different. It will be not like the same crypto winter. And so I'm pretty like amazed by people, by products, by teams which I like invested or like I'm just try to help a lot of people to build the products. So it's a nice place. I don't see any other place in the market that will be so amazing, and I love it. That's why for me it wasn't so difficult.
All right. So there's a thing you mentioned in there about the Ethereum ICO being like the Ethereum original crowd sale. I don't even remember what they called it, to be honest. But it was this, like open, transparent fundraising effort that anyone could participate in, and that sort of democratization of access to financial opportunity is something that you liked about crypto. Many people that are watching will, see that you bought Solana in the seed round, Polkadot in the seed round, Definity in the seed round, all these seed rounds from like 2017 or whenever they were, and think, well, how do I get access to those today? So, like, I'm watching this and it feels like a little bit like, to me, like the trend in crypto, because of regulation and like ease of capital, has moved a little bit away from that open, fair, anyone can participate, and has instead switched a little bit back towards private rounds for venture, like VCs, or IDOs where you put your name into a fucking hat, and if you get pulled out, you can buy $7 worth of the latest IDO on like Binance Smart Chain or something. So as a listener, how should they be thinking about getting involved? What sort of things should they be looking for? And how do they become the next Diamond Hand Lomashuk that hasn't moved his Solana bag since they were Genesis?
Like the time is different, of course. Like why this like new project not raising money like on their like on the market? Not only because of SEC and regulation. I mean, SEC only like had about like 70 or something like that legal decisions about like all this market. And I think the market was a free market. So like, and it was amazing. And anyone can participate. Like, of course, it was scams, or some like like in any market, but I don't think that it was a lot of them. But still, it was. But it was open market. And then from 2018, nobody wanted like to invest in the ICO. The market didn't want, because it was taught by market that you shouldn't invest money in what you don't understand. And if you invested, you should like take the risk and like not complain about it. And now a lot of projects, they don't want to raise money from public because it's really risky for their reputation, that like people who don't catch what they are doing, put this money and will lose. These people, and like the retail investors, they are not ready to lose money, and they will be very angry if they will lose money. So, and they don't understand the risk. And it's much more simple to go to professional investors who understand the risk, who are ready to take it and to raise money, like because it's a lot of money on the market. And so what I would do, like what we did, like in 2014 back. So we try to understand how to evaluate these crypto assets. I mean, we don't have this information still on the market, but it's not any like way how you can evaluate this project. But you have already metrics like fees, how much protocols collect fees, or like TVL, or different other type of metrics. And in my mind, it's like pretty possible to find a pretty good projects on the market, that was already trading on the market, and you just need to like make research to find the way how you evaluate it. Also, you should be ready to go long term, because when you're just buying token and selling token, it's impossible to make money. It's a gambling, you can win money. It's not like about investment. Investment is when you like invest for like year or some much. It is a lot of different strategies. But if you back to me, I have never traded tokens. Of course, I did some margin trading, but it was like too risky. It was.
I've never traded. I did some margin trading.
I'm not counting it because it was so nervous. It was just couple times, but it was a long position on a bull run, for example. Yes, so it was a pretty simple trade. But in general, I didn't see any successful traders. I spoke with many people and asked them how much percent have you like earned on trading, and it wasn't a lot of good examples. My partner came to me and said, "Oh, guys, this fund just like short Ethereum and had like, I don't know, like 100% in this month. And then in 1 year, I see in the news that this fund was bankrupt, and he like promoted this like fund and said, let's make collaboration, like let's do something together. If I don't understand how trading works, but I know how it works because when I was 18, I was in the forex school when I would teach by technical analysis, different figures, by fundamental analysis and different other things. But what I catch, I lose all my money with like 100x margin, when I was 18. So I had a pretty good experience. But what I found out that this is a betting. It's not all this forex market is a fake market. It's just they find clients, bring them, pay a lot for these clients, and take this money from the market. So I had like this bad experience from trading, and so I made the decision not to trade and just to hold. And when I look back, if you like invested like in good projects, you can look the same on, for example, on a stock market. If you like put money like in Amazon, in some, of course now we understand that Amazon will, but you can make this long-term bet on 10 projects, on 20, I don't know how much. It will work much better than you will trade intraday or like intramonths because you will just lose money. And so my advice here, so we make this like, we try to understand what market we want to invest. For example, we take the market of storage. And we found what the projects was on the market. It was like MadeSafe, for example, Storage, Filecoin, and many others. Some of them were good, some of them still didn't launch from 2014. Yes, but they have a good teams, but they're still working on the product. And we start to invest in this market. We start to find the best teams on that market. And so when you found the market and you try to find how you can evaluate this market by what metrics, you can build a good portfolio. If it's social networks, for example, and also you should have your own like position. What do you want from your portfolio company? For example, if you look on social networks, you have BitCloud right now. Do I want to invest in BitCloud? Never. Why? Because it's grabbing, it's taking money from people, and and it's built on not on positive way. It's just it's selling some influencers, and so it's motivated not by good things, and that's why I'm not investing in the projects that, for example, not good for for humanity, for people, for everyone. If they're just exploiting some bad things or like bad mechanics to just grab more money, it's not a long-term project. And if you look back in Ethereum, if you back like even in Solana and different other projects, it was a project that has a founder who has a long-term vision, who has a good team, who try to deliver a product, and they're doing it day by day, without weekends, and they believe in what they're doing. They're long-term. And you love these founders, and they're really cool. You want to have share in their venture. And this is a project what I invested. I try to find good founders to invest the capital in these good founders, and and it's worked pretty well and hold long term.
So I saw a question in chat from Degen Monkey. It said, how do you figure out and achieve such a long-term vision? So with tens of projects competing for the same concept, how do you go about finding the right one without spending every minute researching? And shout out to Simon VC, who just messaged me, who said to say he's watching, potential Satoshi candidate.
Yeah, so I'm doing a lot of research. I'm still also managing two companies on like one company, P2P.org, and and also involved inside LIDO. So I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm not just sitting and investing capital, allocating capital. So I think good example, if we look on layer 2 solution now for Ethereum, it's pretty clear market. Like Ethereum has expensive transactions. It will not change in 1 year. Nothing will change in 1 year. It will be still expensive. And it is some solutions on the market that can make this transaction cheaper. And when you look on this solution, you can look on, so you define the market. And then you try to make a research. You can make a research about the people like who build these projects. And for example, we can take 3 projects like Optimism, Arbitrum, and Matter. I mean, this is a pretty good example. Why? Because you don't have so good projects on one market. I also need to disclose that I invested in one of them. Yes, and maybe like will invest in like 2 other. But in general, this is a good example when all 3 projects has good teams with good quality, who really believe in Ethereum, who have good values, who just don't try to grab money from the market, who is deliver a complex technical solution. And you can make a comparison by different type of parameters, because it is also different other layer 2 solutions. So the team is already good. The research is, perfect in all the projects. I follow Arbitrum for like 3 years, and also know Alex from Matter for a long time, and know Jing from Optimism. So, then you can bet who will deliver first the product. You can look who was first in public testnet, or like when they will be launched, because it's important. You can look on the other ways. Is it compatible with EVM? So you should try to understand why this market should be successful. What is MVP of this market? Who will be launched first, and will they take part of the market? And so the best way, if you can invest in 3 of them, because you don't know who will win. It's 3 amazing projects. I like all of them, and Ethereum will be more successful if all of them will be successful. So this is a pretty good example where is the market, good teams in one place.
When you invested in Solana, Definity, Polkadot, I think you mentioned all 3 of those, how did you approach those in relation to Ethereum? Or is it investing in those as a hedge in case they end up being better than Ethereum? Or did you think that they could work together? Or how did you approach that fundamentally?
When I started in Bitcoin, it was a lot of Bitcoin maximalists. I think it's, and they push Ethereum every time, and they hate Ethereum. A lot of them still hate Ethereum. And I don't know why they didn't catch that Ethereum is a different market and it's much bigger than Bitcoin. But still a lot of people just think that Ethereum was done by some schoolmates, who don't know how to code. But in general, Ethereum found this business model when they found a new model when you can execute the code, you can program this code, you can program money, you can program smart contracts, and it is a platform for a lot of applications. But when we invested in Ethereum, we also tried to look on not only on Ethereum, but on all the market. And so we also invested in Polkadot, not because we didn't like Ethereum. I love Ethereum. I think the Ethereum has the biggest. I'm a big believer in Ethereum. I think that Ethereum is the future for money, and I'm a big believer. But for example, Gavin Wood, he also participated in. He's one of the founders of Ethereum, and he has a different vision how it can happen, with different trade-offs that are good and bad, when we try to allocate capital, we also allocate capital in his vision too, because it's good for all ecosystem. Then more, even Ethereum will have competitors, then better will be Ethereum. You see how it moves right now fast. Also because competitors push Ethereum to the market faster. So it cancel sharding. It's like do merging faster. Why? Because the market start move much more faster with this crypto summer. And for example, Ethereum has a vision that the nodes should be really pretty, so run on Raspberry Pi, for example. So the setup should be not so heavy. You can run on your computer, and a lot of optimization is around it. And it's a good thing, but I don't think that it will work in the long term. But still, we are building LIDO to show this problem, that Ethereum will be like decentralized and validation will be still simple. But in general, so Solana had, why I invested like in Anatoly, because when I have a call with him back in 2018, it was already a crypto winter, so like start of crypto winter. So nobody wanted to invest in all these projects. And he was in Silicon Valley. He just quit his work, I think in Dropbox or somewhere, or Qualcomm, I don't remember. And so he told me like his visions that he want to scale Solana with the speed of technology, and this is like a vision of a founder who can build such complex things because he has previous experience, and who want to implement a rather different things with rather different trade-offs. And we can imagine that like in the future, part of Ethereum can be scaled on Solana, for example, that they can coexist and this economy will work even better. I'm still thinking that Ethereum is like number one. It is a leader. It has the best community, a lot of innovations, and best minds who want to keep this decentralization. But in the same time, it will be like different other solutions, like in the case with our layer 2 solutions that I just told you that it is 3 good one. And if it will be like more different things on the market will be better. It will be more censorship resistance. It will be more, if something will fail in one part of the market, there are other things can save it, So that's why, we try to, I try to invest like in founders, in vision, and it can be different, it can be competitive with Ethereum. But I think that all these projects already understand that should be aligned with Ethereum. That they should help Ethereum to scale. For example, like Nia is building like some scaling solution for Ethereum, like Solana is also working on some in that direction. So I think in future, they will coexist and will make all of them stronger.
Yeah, I need to know, man. I need to know how you didn't sell your Solana when we hit like $20. Like, how do you do it? Like, I get it, right? I get why you don't sell at 2. I get why I don't sell at 5. And I can't even remember what the seed price was. It must have been like less than a cent or something. So when you're at $1, you're already 100x up. But when you're at $5, you're 500x up. When you're at $10, I just don't understand. Like we've got Ledger on the call, right? Ledger, he bought Matic and then sold it 3 days later. And he was very happy because he made 15%. He was like, killed it. I'm a trading god. I'm gonna make it. He sold it. And then it went fucking 10,000x in the next 6 weeks. And I think, Ledger, this is the story of your life, you won't mind me saying. You bought Synthetics in 2019 and sold it 3 days later.
No, I held that one for 6 months or so. I don't know. But
6 months. So what was your overall profit?
Oh, I don't know, some multiples, but it was like I should have taken something as a hint that it was pumping like mad in a bear market. And I was basically just selling my bag to A16Z, who was like accumulating as much as they could on the public market. Yeah.
So, like when things get real frothy and like Bitcoin's going crazy and ETH's going crazy and you hit like January of this year and Solana's now worth like fuck knows, can't remember. What's your thesis? What's your exit plan? Is it just like I'm never gonna sell now?
Yeah, I should tell you that I'm doing a rebalance of some position. For example, if we just talk about synthetics, I also invested in synthetics in January 2018 when the valuation.
Wait, is there anything you didn't invest in?
Yeah, why I invested like in synthetics? Because they had a working product, like it was the valuation was so low, but they had so amazing product that worked. They had a pretty good UI and UX. It was like amazing product. And I just like bought like some pocket from the market. It was a pretty hard time when all the like prices was so low, and I kept it. I staked all these tokens, and I did some rebalance to Ethereum back to compensate my Ethereum share. Like this was that was what I did. In case of Solana, I like invested like early, it was a seed stage. The price was about 0.04 cents, yes, and
0.04 cents.
Yeah,
4/10 of 1 cent. 4/10 of 1 cent.
4 cents.
Oh,
Yeah.
4 cents. 4 cents. I thought you said 4/10 of 1 cent.
Oh yeah, sorry. And so like the team is delivering. It's growing pretty fast. They doing like amazing work in their vision and like in their market. They found Sam, who is an amazing guy who like build products on top of Solana, and they take a lot of risk, I think, still too. So it's not only good things happening. So it's like ICO like market on Ethereum. A lot of projects are now building and grabbing money on Solana, but still it's one of the I think like top 3 ecosystem who are different, or maybe like that is different from Ethereum, and that is where projects build products, And so in the long run, when you invest in money, I also invested in Flow and in Avalanche and some other good projects. And
Sorry, I'm laughing at Fuzzy Slippers in chat. He just said, this man's brain doesn't have wrinkles, it has chasms. That's a very niche compliment, isn't it?
Yeah. You're up 1,350x on Solana.
1,350x, all right. Sorry to interrupt, Konstantin.
Yeah.
1,000x.
I'm just coping.
So the projects feel pretty. The team is good. They are delivering the product. They have a vision. They have a like virtual machines that is working. Their market is growing, and in this case, if you're like long-term holder, you can just hold these assets. And I think that the strategy work is much better than any other. So you just allocate your capital. You're waiting like some time, I don't know, like some time, and then you can rebalance or to reinvest. For example, I can reinvest taking rewards from Solana to like different other projects that I also believe in long term. Maybe I need to think about the quit of or like to fix some of my like position one day, but for now, I don't see. I think that it's a lot of opportunity also in all this market. It is already not. Ethereum and Solana, for example, Ethereum is not already $100. It's already $4,000. But the market is not. Still has a lot of runaway. I think, and it's still bullish. And that's why if you convert your money to USD, for example, I don't know, it's risky. USD looks really risky now, much more risky. Why? Because it's all my money printed, and you just think that this is a lot of risk in dollars. But of course, one day, maybe I need to just rebalance the portfolio to different other assets. This is what I will do. Yep.
So chat has got 2 questions. One keeps getting spammed, and it's mostly my fault, I think, because sometimes I talk negatively about Cardano. But chat wants to know: did you buy the original Cardano sale?
Yeah, I think I wrote Charles to his Facebook. I still have his Facebook, I think, and I don't remember if he replied or he replied late. But I didn't invest in Cardano, and in my so it is some positive projects and positive founders, and for me it's really important, like to invest in positive people, like Vitalik Buterin, like some other people on the market who have a good mind, who is doing revolution on the market. So I will not say anything about Cardano. I mean, I hope they will launch a smart contract soon, and maybe.
What else do you need to say? What else do you need to say?
I mean, in Polkadot, I mean, they'll start to run. Their parachains. Like a lot of a big part of the market living on expectation. Yes, but when you look on the valuation of Ethereum that has product market fit, that has like thousands of working products, like thousands of developers, and you have some other projects, even like Polkadot, Solana, a lot of other. And when you compare the valuation, I mean, it's not comparable. If you will try to evaluate, I mean, Ethereum is like, I don't know, like 10x from all of them by all parameters. And all these networks are like living on expectation. So, yeah.
Tonton Beats said, did he invest in Terra? Yes, he did invest in Terra. The other question in chat that I saw, and feel free to not answer because it's a little bit invasive for your privacy, was what percentage are you up in total from your initial investment in crypto?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I will try to calculate. Maybe
too many multiples.
But, yeah.
But if you like, maybe a different way to phrase it might be easier to figure it out is, if you invested $100 and did the exact same stuff, how much money would you have today?
Yeah, I think it's like 10,000 to 50,000 x, maybe like something. I don't know.
50,000
to 50,000 x.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
50,000.
I mean, it's still a lot of reinvestment. So, for example, I invest like in different assets, or like I try to buy more ETH when I invested in different projects. So it's not just one investment that gave you.
So it's full like compound the winners into other winners, keep reinvesting into the ecosystem, and like diamond hand hold forever.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think I make my position even bigger in Ethereum because I'm big believer in Ethereum.
How many?
Yeah, I remember. Sorry, Liz, I'll let you talk after. I remember I was on a call with someone once, and you were talking about your history. You said that you bought the initial Ethereum sale, and you still hold those Ethereum, and then you were like, and about 10 times more Ethereum since then.
Just keep adding to it. How many projects?
Yeah, but as I said, it was my pocket money. It wasn't like a big investment. I just like boy from Kaliningrad, like I didn't have a lot of money to invest in like ICO of Ethereum in back in 2016, or when it was
14, I think, came out 16.
14,
yeah. How many projects would you look back on and say it just totally bombed? Whether the investment went to zero, the project failed, it pivoted to something that you didn't believe in anymore. I don't know what the criteria would be for the project failing, but like how often did that happen? How should people plan for, not everything being a home run?
Yeah, so it's not a lot of it is some projects that I didn't exit. I mean, they failed, and I didn't sell these tokens for the rest of the money. I just hold even these tokens. But in general, if I see that the team is doing something wrong, in my mind, what can I do? Not the team, all the community. I'm not agree with some decisions, or like how they see. Where they're going. I try to communicate, and if I see that they're toxic, or like they has vision that makes this project more centralized, or like I don't like their vision, for example, I'm just make an exit. I came to, for example, the project or like to the market and say that I want to sell this position because I don't believe in the product anymore. And and so like a lot of projects with good founders can fail because it's not a good time for this. It's not a good time for their product. And there are a lot of not so good teams, but in good timing can deliver pretty good products. So this is a rule, but when you invest long term, it is some teams who can deliver like the products for a long time. So for example, I invested in like this Solana, like New Cipher also, and it was raising in 2017, 2018, and they only like launched the products now. And sometimes it's still difficult to find a product market fit. Like Cipher did a pretty good product, but it's still difficult to find a product market fit for their product. And Michael from Curve, he also was a founder of and is founder of New Cipher. He like delivered the Curve product, and like Mark Lane is working on as I remember, like in integration with Keeper DAO. So like they're delivering some of projects can be like just not successful, and it's good. And still in the crypto, it's this rate is much lower. And if you're not just investing like in meme coins or like some dog tokens, like some people doing from Twitter. Yeah, so you have a thesis or why this project should have value in long run. What is how you evaluate this product? Your rate of this when you lose money will be lower. But also I think it's a good way to start to understand this market, to be involved in the market, to just came to the good communities. You can go to the Defilama, take top 20 projects by TVL. It is how much people put money inside these projects, and these projects already generate revenue, like Maker, Compound, Up, and start to be part of the community. Try to deliver some value to these projects, and when you will deliver this value, all of them need help, because what they try to build decentralized products, and this is a good point to start, just to contribute to like this products that already found product market fit.
I think my other question in regard to what you're investing in is more around timing. Do you take your foot off the gas at all when the market is getting a little saucier? Like if you feel like your late stage bull market.
Saucier.
Yeah.
It's getting a little saucy, Ledge.
A little saucy, little frothy, whatever you want to call it.
Market's getting a little saucy.
Like, did you recognize, for instance, valuations getting really high before they really had anything to show for it in 2017, and take and slow down a little bit? Or do you see that happening now, where stuff that just doesn't impress you is coming out and asking you for this enormous valuation for what you're putting in?
Yeah. In general, can you repeat the question, because I didn't catch her? Yeah.
No, that's fine. Just whether or not you slow down if you think the market's running too hot, like people are asking for too much money, too high valuations.
I guess the practical question is like, right now the market's super hype, valuations are going through the roof. Are you slowing down your investments, or are you keeping up the same pace? Like, do you still keep investing in sales now?
Yeah, you still should understand that. I don't have too much time now for investment. Because I'm running products, and it's really difficult to be focused. And you don't have so much time. I try to invest in teams that already proved, and when they have a large valuation, And for example, if you also compare with Ethereum price, I mean, now it's large, but also crypto value is large. But you also should understand that now is a time of product of companies. Yes, not VC market. I mean, VC market is when it's crypto winter, and it will be like a day when it will be like a good time to invest cheap. But now, I mean, it's expensive, and it depends. So on what stage are you investing? If you invest in a seed stage, you also try to speak with the founders, and if they understand that they're on the seed stage without the product, or they will launch the product, and they're trying to sell a pretty high valuation, I mean, then it's a signal that they can maybe just take money, and that's all. And you try to understand are they really want to deliver the product? Are they really don't try to push the valuations too high? And I mean, everyone is doing mistakes. So I also invested in many projects by high valuation and have a problem. But of course, I'm start to make slow down, because I just maybe invest more in this, because it is a lot of opportunities there. And I mean, but if it is amazing team, and if they're for a long, I mean, it is a long-term team that is building amazing products, you can pay extra, because I mean, because of the market, you just pay extra. And that is what's happening. I mean, all these funds they also understand it, and they are allocating capital in the market, and they understand that the valuation, I mean, allocating by different valuation. But of course, when I mean the market going up, they start to make it more, to analyze more deep.
And if there is another crypto winter, let's say we had this episode of Up Only TV at the generational top. What a shame. And there was a crypto winter. Do you have a plan? Are you going to just diamond hand some more, the same plan since 2011, and sit through the winter and try and find good projects to allocate, to rebalance or reallocate? Or do you have do you have a drawdown plan in case there's an extended winter for the next 3-4 years or so?
You think you still should have a strategy, and in your strategy you should understand how much of your portfolio should be in liquid assets, for example, in Ethereum, Bitcoin, and some others. How much you want to invest in liquid assets, for example, with lockups and some other, and how much you need to convert to fiat money. It can be RAI. I mean, that is not stable coins, that is not USD, or it can be USD too. And I think you just make this share, for example, if before the bull run, you can start about 5% or 10%, I don't know how much. And when is there a bull run, you should make a position right now. For example, if your target that Ethereum will be one day $20,000 in this bull run, and it will be the maximum price. It means that on $10,000 you should start to quit part of the money to the fiat, and and so rebalance your portfolio to different other assets. And you need to make this decision and also execute, because when you will be in this position, when it will be $10,000 for ETH, it will be, it will look even more sweet to invest more money inside ETH back that you sold before. This is what we are doing usually. And you need to have a rule that you will execute by some amount, and you need to make a decision right now, not when the market will be 10,000 per ETH.
You've mentioned a couple times that you think that ETH has found good product market fit. Do you think that's going to change the type of cycles that we experience now that DeFi's trying to mature, that the drawdowns will be lower? It won't be minus 99% pricing on altcoins as these hit more of an adoption curve rather than just a speculation cycle?
Yeah, it is a lot of risk on the market. One is that all market is pumped, especially in DeFi, because it's found the product market fit. It's it's understandable how to evaluate these assets by TVL or by revenue flows or by some other metrics. Other things that crypto, it is a legal risk that one day something will change in our in legal space, and the market can drop pretty fast. But in general, if we'll not look on the things, this market only will evolve. Because, before new unicorns happened in Silicon Valley, it is some technology progress, some new innovation. And this innovation happened on Ethereum. So new DeFi products happened on this virtual machine. They can make it's it's a trustless peer-to-peer programmed finance, and you can build one primitive, for example, like Uniswap, another one like Maker, and it will be a guy like Vitalik Buterin said, he'll wake up in Finland, and in 24 hours he'll develop margin trading on top of it, and this is and deliver this product to the market, and and this is amazing. It's impossible to do it in other markets, and it has a product market fit. Why? Because each product, usually a software product, it should you should spend low amount of time or money. It's make your experience better in some way. So you spend a low amount of money or on money or time. It is the same. And when you can by one transaction to have a loan for $100 million, you can receive $50 million, or for $100 you can receive $50. Fees are still high. It is amazing because it's just more simple, it's more effective, it's more user friendly, it's a product of the next level. And I think that even with this crypto winter, it will be, the valuation can be different, it can drop 10 times, I don't know how much, but their products will still exist, they will still work because they don't need anyone. If something will happen with Compound team, it will still work, and there are people can use it, and this is cool. People can integrate products on top of it, and they don't need people to execute the business. And I'm really bullish on it. I think it's only one case of a product market fit. I think our NFT, for example, they didn't find this product market fit yet. It is some examples, we should understand that NFT, it's just a unique asset, and this unique assets, it can be in the real world, can be just a domain, for example, a web domain or something like that. And when it's based in blockchain, it's NFT. And it is a lot of different cases that is pumping right now. And one of them is art. And I think it's a pretty interesting one. It's found a product market fit. It is only 500 socks. Socks are not NFTs in case of Uniswap, but it's almost like NFTs because it's so rare. It's not a lot of them. I think you even can convert one sock to NFT, or you can develop such thing. And so it is a piece of art that you can put on your wall or something like that, and digital, and it's find the product market fit. Also, CryptoKitties, what did CryptoKitties? So they find this mechanic and they use it, but it's also really hyped. It's maybe 10 times, 20 times, for I don't know how much but they are too much hyped, and the correction will be really a pain for a lot of people. But Ethereum, like DeFi, I'm still bullish on it, and they can grow like many times more. If they will collect more fees, if they will, when you like evaluating, for example, some companies on stock market, you looking on P model, and you try to evaluate what is like evaluation on earnings, and you look on Tesla, for example, and you understand that it's really hyped by many times, and you can make this evaluation. And for traditional market, it's simple because we know how to evaluate the assets. When you look on the new market, it's really difficult to find out what the metrics you should look like. For example, somebody look on Maker right now, and it has a good metrics. Price on earnings, it's about like 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And this is a good metric that you should look and follow. And if we will see more of these metrics, people like the market will be more stable because it will not invest in some shitcoins or like tokens that doesn't have value.
It's good.
I have two things in addition I want to talk about. The first is P2P Org, and you mentioned you founded P2P Org. For anyone watching that doesn't know, P2P Org is a staking service for proof of stake blockchains, and has $10 billion in assets under management. 10?
I think about 3 or 4. Yeah.
5, 3, 2, 1, 0. Who knows?
3.8 billion.
3.8 billion. So it has about $4 billion assets under management. So assets staking with it. And I remember chatting to you in the past, and you spoke a lot about how you saw governance as being very important for these blockchains, and the decentralization of these blockchains is incredibly important as well. So can you tell us a little bit about why you started P2P.org and talk a little bit about those sort of topics?
Yeah, because I invested in a lot of proof of stake networks, I understood that I can bring some value by running these nodes. And I start to do it because from one side, if I will run these networks, I will understand this economy better. When you're running the node, you understand how it's updated, how to run it, is it any economy inside, what is in this ecosystem. So it's a pretty good insight. From other side, my goal was to bring non-custodial staking to the market. Why? Because it is important if, for example, I don't know, like Binance or like Kraken will run 40% of the network, they can censor this network by, for example, regulator request. And it means that this network will, the valuation of this network will be zero. And if someone built a really good product on top of it, all the value will be destroyed. And my idea was to deliver the team who will run this node and will help this network to exist and to keep this censorship resistance, to keep this decentralization, and keep network decentralized. But from another side, to make staking simple and secure.
That makes sense. So initially this was just like, I'm going to stake my own stuff, and then over time a bunch of other people started staking with you.
You stake my stuff.
Got to stake my own shit. I got to stake my own stuff. Which network was it that you wanted to stake first?
Yeah, it was a Tezos blockchain. Why?
Nice.
Paths triggered. He's crying at home.
I locked my own assets in Tezos and start because they need a deposit to run the node about 10%. I lock my assets and start to provide the service to my clients and start to run this node. And we are still pretty successful in Tezos.
That makes sense. And the second thing I wanted to ask about was LIDO. And so much stuff to talk about, and I don't want to go too deep into it on this because everyone watching knows that we both hold like large amounts of LIDO. But I do want to know why you why you thought LIDO was a solution that the world needed. Why you think existing solutions didn't really sort of suit. And shout out to Arjun from Paradigm who keeps spamming the chat saying, "Please give us a shout on stream." Here you go, mate.
Yeah. Should I start to talk about Paradigm right now?
No, he just wants you to. I've muted the chat.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, muted. About if we back to LIDO. So when we run P2P.org, we understood that our business goal was to take like bigger and bigger of the network share, but if, for example, we start to run like 7% of the network, it was a good for our company, but was pretty bad for network decentralization. It took more risk for the network. And when, we start to make research about Ethereum, we look on all solutions that was on for Ethereum, and we understood that, the beacon chain will be pretty centralized because the logic is too complex, because your Ethereum will be liquid. And then when even withdrawals on Ethereum will be launched, it still be impossible to already change these people who will run this, validators, because they will take all like first comers, and they will be successful because they will have already revenue flows from it. And to change validator set later, it's really difficult. And also we saw the launch of different other networks, and I think Ethereum like foundation, I don't know who is, didn't make a good work for validators to onboard a lot of independent validators. And also it was a problem that people who have ETH, they didn't want to delegate ETH to new validators because they lock it for 3 years or 2 years, I don't know for how much time. And it was a risk that this validator should exist. And so in natural way, a lot of ETH was staked with exchanges and different other, companies. And when I spoke with some people and tried to tell about this problem, one of the guy told me what you can do, do something. If you complain on it, Ethereum is decentralized, and you should do something with it. And we made the research. It was some already solutions on the market that try to deliver liquid staking. And we analyzed them and found out they're not so capital efficient, and they're not really good for decentralized finance. And so we start to work on MVP that, and also we define the mission of what we want to do, because I already have some assets that I have in my bag, and my goal was to deliver something good for people, for community, and that's why we defined our mission that we want to make staking simple, secure, and keep Ethereum decentralized, and help it to make it decentralized. And so we start to work on research, and found out that it's really difficult to deliver a decentralized solution right from the day one, because it was issues inside. For example, it was impossible to have a withdrawal account on Ethereum 1.0 that should be a smart contract. That's why we developed a special solution like threshold signatures to split the one key on withdrawal, on ETH2, and make a case ceremony and distribute this case to 11 pretty famous people in decentralized finance. Also, it was an issue that it was impossible to redelegate from one validator to another. And so I came to my friends, who are my competitors, who run this whole business for 2 years, for 3 years, and we it's look like we should be competitors to take their share of the networks. It is but we start to be friends because it's not really easy to wake up at the night and fix all these networks. It's look like it's a business. You click the button and everything is going on. But you're working 24/7. You I don't know, you try to do it secure. It is some incidents happening. So you try to build the team, to grow the team. And so we found these people who were together with us, Stakefish, who one of the biggest miner in Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're run FT pool, and now they're running also Stakefish, staking facilities like Chorus One. Brian, who is also running competing a show called Epicenter. And also Certus One, who one of the top technical validators. And so we came to them and said to them, let's do it together. Let's launch this DAO together. They said us no, when we first come to them, they said no, we don't want to do it together. And then we are with my co-founder Vasily, so together with you, Jordan. So we start to work on MVP and develop a product and launch it. Because if not we are, then who is? You need to, if you don't like something in the Ethereum community, if you don't like something in crypto, you just need to do something and change it, and it's possible. And that's what we did. And and then Paradigm came. And then our people start to stake tokens with us, and they like the product. We found the product market fit. We have understand that people really need such simple solution. And now our goal with already a community, because it is a DAO. We only one of the team who is running this DAO right now. It is Chorus, who is building liquid staking for Solana. It is a different Delphi Digital, who is working now on Staked ETH, and some other teams that are joining LIDO now. And our goal is keep this market, keep it decentralized, because if it will be censored, if big corporation will own and can censor this transaction, so they will destroy everything that we did from 2011, that Satoshi started with Bitcoin, Ethereum continued with Ethereum. And so and we can do it, now we have resources. We found pretty good investors who really believers in Ethereum, like Paradigm. I think it's not an advertising, but they're really, I think, the best minds here. Fred Erzam built Coinbase, and I also follow a lot of his investments. I think he is really diamond hands, and he is much more longer than the market. And so it was a dream that such people will believe in our products and really not invest, but they will buy tokens from the DAO. It's also pretty changing situation when big funds funded by Yale University and some other, and they allocating capital straight inside DAO treasury, and we had a dream. We had this dream in 2014 that it will happen in 2016, but it was really impossible because of the regulation, because a lot of people didn't understand, because of the risk. And these funds take this risk, allocate capitals, purchase tokens, and also now committed to build this decentralization for these networks. This is amazing. This is really what inspiring us to wake up at 6 o'clock and go sleep at night, and we do it like without weekends. Crypto doesn't have weekends, and we like it. Yeah.
There's a couple of things that I have questions about with LIDO and how governance works within the Ethereum ecosystem. Is it? I remember the Tezos iteration pretty well, where essentially you delegate tokens to a validator. The validator is essentially voting on your behalf, right? And then if you don't like their votes, you can go delegate somewhere else. Is that essentially how governance works within ETH 2.0, where like LIDO as an entity that's doing staking provides the governance decisions within the broader Ethereum network, and then I imagine the DAO, the LIDO DAO itself is, you have your own governance essentially to determine what those votes will be. Is that roughly the way that governance structure works?
Yeah, governance is really like an important thing. I mean, in case of Ethereum, they try to minimize this governance at all. So they just don't have it. And we as a LIDO DAO, we can be, because we are not so important like protocol like Ethereum, we can make a more governance decision on voting of LIDO tokens. And the LIDO token is a voting token, and it vote, for example, for now, when user start to stake tokens with LIDO, this token staked with some from the validator set. And to choose this validator set, you should be like really professional to understand who is a good validator, who is not good validator. So I mean, their usual like user, they don't need to do it. They don't, they can do it. They just usually like delegate into the top who like made sales better or make marketing better. And LIDO is a professional people who choose like the best validator from the market, onboard them, and then each new 32 is going by round robin to like a new validator in this validator set. So it distributes equally. And why we need governance? Because now the spec of Ethereum 2.0 is not fixed. It's an ongoing development. And to make this liquid pool, it is a lot of things that should be on a governance decision. When it will be a merge, for example, how maybe it is some also proxies, how we can we can vote on different type of decisions. And in future, the goal of LIDO to deliver as much trustless without governance solution for staking as we can, but step by step when it's available. For example, now Ethereum added withdrawal accounts that can be programmed. And for example, you can stake with LIDO, and then when withdrawals will be available, you can burn your staked ETH and receive ETH on Beacon chain, and you don't have any trust. And so our goal is implement this thing as soon as possible. When it will be a new feature, for example, withdrawals available, or we can, for example, add secret sharing validation when the key from validator can be held by 6-7 parties like multisig from one validator. And so we can rotate the keys. We can start to work on permissionless validator set, but step by step. Because when you develop some product on top of Ethereum, it's really like easy to make a mistake. Smart contracts are complex. You can, it's really better to start with the simple things and to make step by step, more decentralized. This is a good way. And so, governance, why we need governance to work on all these things that user don't need to care about, who will ensure, for example, session risk, who is this validators, what is their fee, and some other things. And this community of LIDO token holders will think how to make this Ethereum more decentralized, how to make this validator set of LIDO bigger, how make it more secure, And we'll do all this work to onboard new validators to Ethereum. We already bring in some validators from other networks to Ethereum, and make it finally like more decentralized and simple for final user.
Seems like there are a few solutions that are trying to do similar stuff to LIDO. It feels, at least to me, I don't really know the numbers, like y'all have a significant lead outside of exchanges that are providing staking services for ETH 2.0. What advantages are there for an average person that, say, has some sub 32 ETH or some amount of ETH that they don't want to do all this stuff themselves? So they take their 10 ETH or whatever it is, and they say, hey, I want to participate. What advantages do they have doing that through LIDO or even a competitive service to LIDO outside of the exchange infrastructure, rather than like staking directly through a Kraken or a Coinbase or whoever is providing those types of services on exchange?
So like the first advantage is liquidity. So when you stake your ETH, you can exchange it back on a curve, through the curve, or 1 each exchange, or like sort of through the curve pool back to ETH. And this giving you a way to like stake your ETH, have yield on top of it, and then exit through the market right now until the withdrawal is available. Of course, it can be like some market movement when the price of staked ETH can drop down, for example. It's possible way, but now it's about like $2 billion inside the curve pool, give this liquidity to like swap tokens from one side to another. Another thing that why staked ETH is so big thing for crypto, because it's the first brick in decentralized finance. In the future, maybe like nobody will use Ethereum. No, because it's bad, but because like the main goal of Ethereum is pay fees inside, and also it look like it will be new money, but when you will like decide what you want to hold, ETH or staked ETH, with staking rewards, with fees from transactions, with MEV return, it's look like it's better to use staked ETH inside the DeFi protocols, like for example Compound. When you deposit your staked ETH, take a loan, and your staking rewards paying your loan, for example, or when you just hold your just on the wallet, it's like you have an additional return on your ETH. So if you hold ETH in any protocol like Uniswap in future, so it's better to have staked ETH and DAI than just ETH and DAI, because you will have extra staking reward on all your liquidity in this pool, like maybe 3-4%, but it is a lot. And when all this hype will go down, staking reward, it's a based yield in DeFi, and it's pretty high yield, like especially for traditional market. Of course, it's with the risk of crypto, but it will be a lot of different protocols like bricks that will be built on top of it. Like you have staked ETH, you put inside Maker, you use DAI, then for example you deposit like staked ETH in some fixed yield lending protocols. So it's a lot of things that can be built. You can build leverage with double staked ETH, bullish, So it's a lot of products that can be better with staked ETH. And the main difference that we try to make it as decentralized as possible for current moment, like to build this withdrawal account and trust around it, to like choose validator set. I use these validators, everyone, and they're like amazing one, and they're doing a pretty good work in different networks. So this is small pieces are important. And if the mission of this like decentralized organization will be to make it really decentralized, it means that we will bring a lot of value, like that we are doing something really big for everyone. And if Ethereum will be a foundation part for all future digital world, and it's possible, like when we will all go to simulation, all the simulation will be on top of Ethereum. And so like I think it's a foundation thing that we can do right now, and that's why I'm running it, and I'm happy to do it.
If we go into a simulation on top of Ethereum, does that mean my Hashmask girlfriend will finally become real?
Yeah, this just this really depressed me because it made me realize that the Citadel is digital.
But it might be cool. It might be like that film. I can't remember, Ready Player One. That place was sick. I want to go there all the time. Although Ready Player 2 is actually kind of depressing. So,
except in your real life, you're just like inside this suit, you know, like you're just.
In Ready Player 2, you're actually inside a mechanical spider.
Yeah.
But I might be ruining it for people.
Ready Player 2 is good. It's a good book. It's a good book.
Konstantin, I've seen a couple of questions in chat about branching the LIDO ecosystem outside of Ethereum, and the first step was with like the Terra Luna ecosystem, and the second step, I guess, is with the Solana ecosystem with Chorus building staked Solana. Chat wants to know what were the like reasons behind choosing the Terra Luna ecosystem and the Solana ecosystem for those like branches out from Ethereum.
I mean, you know, like it's not about what next network we will build. I mean, we are not making the decision. It is, for example, validators like Horus. I mean, Terra founder Do is also like a participant in LIDO. He's a LIDO member. And so like it is about people who inside the LIDO are DAO and what they want to build. I mean, everyone can propose through their like proposal, I mean, on the research.lido.fi to build a product. And this can be funded by LIDO to develop it. And I think the core team, I mean, it is a lot of core teams. And now it's Horus, Delphi Digital, like, I mean, Terra builds this Luna token. So, I mean, that still the core and headquarter inside Ethereum, and the focus will be Ethereum. But I mean, the other network, they still need to be decentralized. And I mean, it is other teams who can deliver it, bring it, and help deliver liquid staking on these networks. And it's pretty good. But the decision is done by the DAO. If it will be like different other proposals to build it in any other networks that LIDO think good, how it will seem good by voting, then it will be like funded. And if you want, or anyone want to build it, I think they can just join LIDO and help and do it together.
I think we've hit our LIDO quota, Ledger, before people start accusing me of bag pumping.
I mean, there's still there's stuff that I find interesting about it. I think one of the things that you brought up is like it doesn't make sense in the future to hold regular ETH if you can hold staked ETH, because you're automatically earning whatever percent yield that exists in ETH 2.0, except for when the foundational brick of whatever that staked ETH, whichever ones are well adopted, they basically have all the capacity of regular ETH to be utilized within the DeFi ecosystem. So it doesn't really make sense not to use staked ETH as long as you have access to it for whatever product. So y'all are probably onto something. But I don't think people really get that, and that's something that's just recently been clicking better for me in terms of how to address all this, because ETH 2.0 is still kind of a black box in my mind. There's a lot that I have to learn about what's going on there and why the development of it has occurred the way that it's occurred, but definitely seems like LIDO is really going to be more obvious as to why you've built what you've built as ETH 2.0 gets closer. So I don't think anybody's going to be mad at you for pumping your bags. It's educational for me. It's educational for me, and forget everybody else that has a beef with it.
Yeah, Ledger's in Cobie school. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, Konstantin, is so you're in a kind of a unique position, right, where you've funded a lot of crypto founders, and you've also been a multi-time crypto founder. And P2P Org, you took no investors. LIDO, the DAO, has obviously had like people who have contributed financially to the DAO to become participants. So you know kind of both sides of the coin, right? You know what it's like to have people sort of back your vision, and you also know what it's like to back the vision of others. And at the same time, you've worked with a lot of other crypto VCs, and I have as well. And like my personal experience is there's a large scale of variety in how positive and negative particular investors are. So I'd love if you could talk a little bit about what you think what you think is important from a crypto VC. Like, what are the most important qualities to have? The things that you personally in P2P Capital like to contribute as an investor. And what are the things that you've seen that are like a little bit more on the horror story side and maybe less good?
Yeah, so I think that that important. I mean, when you raise capital, or for example, you invest money, you in both cases you should choose people. I mean, and also look on their track record. So, for example, when you make a fundraising, you should like people who invest in you, because they should have the same mindset, because they buy part of you, and if they buy part of you, you will live with these people, and you will be like it should be like a good co-living, not and they should understand you. And so when you raise capital, you should understand that most VC will do nothing, 99% of this VC, they will do nothing if you will not ask them. But you should be proactive founder. So you need to push them. You need to ask right questions. You need to use their, their opportunity. So some opportunities that they can give, and also some of them are just brands, that's famous and make you more reliable if you raise money from them. And some of them this 1% of funds that is more than money, who is really try to deliver the future. And this is not so much people, and you need to try to find those people who are inspiring you, who can help you to build this product, who has this experience. What I see in the market right now is that more and more projects, they don't want to raise from VC anything. They just try to raise my capital from their founders, who already built the product, who really did a lot of good, who has a provable track record. And so I think the funds who built by founders and who really know what is to run such companies, it's a good fund. But still, for now, if this fund has 3 employee or 3 fund managers and have a back of 50 projects in portfolio, for them it's really difficult to manage it. In case when you invest in capital, you should also do the same. You should try to find projects that has the same vision, not the same vision, but they have own vision, but that you happy if it will be happened, if they will achieve this market, if what they will deliver is that align with your values or not. Are these people you like these people or not? I think when you invest in capital, you make a due diligence process. It depends on the fund. I don't think that in crypto it's really complex. I tried before I did a due diligence, not my company in our usual funds. It was much more complex. We even did some tests and some other things. It was I don't know how much we spent, but we were much more complex. And but still, from one side you should be fast because the market is fast. From another side, you should try to find these diamonds. And diamonds, it's not hands, diamond hands. Diamonds is people. because these people are building all this stuff. It's not just I don't know, like superheroes. It's just people like you are who really like not sleeping and delivering some vision. And this is amazing when you find these people who is doing it, and you inspired by them, and you want like to buy part of their venture. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's like what really I like to do. And so I think it's either from one side, you should try to find such investors who really believe in you and will believe in you not only like in crypto summer, but also in crypto winter, or if something shit happened, you know, like, and shit usually happened, and you know, like, and this is that's why you need to look like on like intelligence and integrity, on like people who are really aligned with you and who are long term, you know, because it's a long road. If you're an entrepreneur, I mean, it's like years of, I mean, when you build this project, maybe like your goal is to build your product forever. For example, for myself, to build a company, or like the DAO where I will participate, and to do what I love and to bring value to their ecosystem. And that's why you need to find like people who will be happy to go with you in this way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've got a couple of questions left, and then I want to ask some questions from chat. Ledger, do you want anything in between?
No, go ahead.
All right. So one thing I really want, it's going to be controversial, and someone's going to clip it, and someone's going to be like, no, these people said this thing. But I need to know where do you think Bitcoin fits into this ecosystem? Because clearly you're very bullish on ETH and you're very bullish on DeFi, and you haven't spoken so much about Bitcoin. And I think there's been a bit of sentiment at the moment that, you know, there's been all the hype about the flippening, and there's been a lot of people who've been Bitcoin maxis finally diversifying into Ethereum. And there's also at the same time been this maybe Elon Musk, but maybe even pre-Elon sort of out of trend with proof of work, where like people are now concerned about the environmental impacts and the wastefulness of proof of work. And where do you think that, like, where's your opinion? How does this resolve? Like, is Bitcoin still relevant? Is it something that you're personally invested in? Do you think there's a resurgence later, or is it boomer technology coin?
Yeah, I mean, it is a meme, you know, like Elon Musk is a meme too, you know, like, for example, Elon is running I mean, he's like in 2017, he bought like $1 billion of Bitcoin, and then he caged it. I mean, it's like consumes so much energy, you know, like it's funny. But I mean, it's like a show, but it's just a wave on the market, you know, that is going up and down. But it's not influence on a trend. And what I think, like Bitcoin, it is a big invention, you know, like I mean, it is the biggest proof of work network, and this is important. I mean, it's consumed from one side a lot of energy, from another side it is security of the network is provable, it's going like for a long time, and it's a lot of value. I mean, it's meme that has a proof. One of the proof is a proof of work.
Proof of meme.
Just an instant like, dunk.
Proof of work that it is consumed. It's like secured by a lot of hash power. Yes, and this is a proof that like Bitcoin is not just a meme that doesn't have anything inside. It has one of the most like secure network of miners who like do mining. You know, from other side, I mean, it's meme because it's 21 million of Bitcoins, and it's pretty understandable what it is. You know, like it's when you buy Bitcoin, it's a brand. You know, like it's still meme. And is it how big it can be? Like now the brand is like bigger than Ethereum, but you know, like from other side, Bitcoin is a calculator. I mean, when you compare with like Ethereum, it's a good like comparison because it doesn't have microeconomy, that is inside of Bitcoin. You don't have like projects that use Bitcoin transaction. You have, but they are like outside of Bitcoin. In Ethereum, you have like projects that inside the economy, and this is like pretty interesting because Ethereum has like big power in all these projects that like multiply by network effect, by like I don't know, like multiply the power of Ethereum, and so Bitcoin is look like a good solution of store of value. I think like a lot of people still calculating, return in bitcoins, and so like I'm also calculating my return in Bitcoin and Ethereum for a long time, not like in USD, and I think that it will stay. But the question, will it evolve? Maybe like not in this bull run, maybe like in next bull run. Will it move from like a proof of work chain when it consumes so much energy to something else, like proof of stake Bitcoin, or like never? I will think Bitcoin maximalists say, but I'm still pretty bullish that Bitcoin found the product market fit first. Like it found that you can store your value and you can transact all over the world without third party. Is it valuable? It's really valuable. Does it have a network effect? Yes, it has. And so is it amazing? Yes, it is amazing. But why we are talking about Ethereum? Because it has next level of, the next level of value that is going inside of Ethereum economy. Yeah, and I still think that Bitcoin will have a market. Maybe I don't know like how it will differ. I can give you a prediction. Will be flipping in Ethereum for a long time, or it will go back, and it will be another competition. But the Bitcoin already found the, place on the market, and they have also pretty strong core team who is like doing own vision. And I think that for like all people, a lot of people who are listening like this show, it's better to hold just Bitcoin in this portfolio. Why? Because even when we invest in all these assets, when you look on Bitcoin like return or Ethereum, it's good. We had like 5x, or then it go like 2.5x, like on some 2 years way. So it's really difficult to make a profit in Ethereum and Bitcoin. So like to have a 50 percent in Ethereum and 50% in Bitcoin with a rebalanced portfolio is much better than just hold Ethereum or like invest in a lot of coins, because it is a lot of risk on it, in this trading. So you will have, I think like 95% will have bigger return if they will just rebalance their Bitcoin and Ethereum portfolio every 3 months. And if we look at in the last bull run, I think like 99% of funds, professional funds, has a lower returns than just Bitcoin and Ethereum portfolio with rebalancing every 3 months. And this is true, like you don't need to buy you don't need to be like super clever. You just need to look what's happened on the market or classic market when a lot of people invested in S&P 500, and you can try to do something the same here and find these blue chips like and Bitcoin and Ethereum is here, already.
I think that's the first time I've heard somebody say how Bitcoin essentially carries its own network effects, and then is supported sometimes by like outside brands, stuff outside of Bitcoin itself, whereas Ethereum's more of a flywheel, where it's got its own network effects, but then all this stuff that's built inside it, like DeFi protocols and stuff, are the flywheel for carrying those network effects further. And I think that's probably hitting on something in terms of the potential leverage that you get out of Ethereum and what might enable the flippening, if you will, is because it's so much narrower of a scope for Bitcoin. That was good.
The other thing I'd love to ask you about is you chatted a bit about alternative layer 1s and ETH killers. You chatted a bit about ETH layer 2s and Arbitrum versus Optimism versus Matter Labs, and like those have ETH layer 2s has been ETH layer 1, ETH competitor layer 1s have been an important narrative, particularly towards the beginning of this year. Well, Binance Smart Chain went on an absolute tear. Well, Polkadot went on a massive tear first, and then Binance Smart Chain went on a tear afterwards, and then Solana, and now Cardano's doing all right, even though it's vaporware. Chat. And then it feels like we're transitioning a bit into ETH layer 2 being an important narrative, with Matic going absolute turbo, and the launch of Arbitrum in a week. 2 weeks, 10 days. The launch of Optimism, I guess, in the next few months, and Matter Labs making a ton of progress on ZK Sync and apparently launching in August. Are there other like product themes or areas, not specific products, but like thematic like regions of interest within the ecosystem that you think interesting to you, or you think is going to be more interesting over the next 18 months or so? Like layer 2 is obvious, right? It's like ETH's fucked. It's like don't work properly anymore. The fees are so high. We've got to do something about it. And like now Matic, which the entire $10 billion relies on 8 people coordinating themselves together. So, that's like going absolute turbo. So these narratives are super important. And what are some others that you think are going to be relevant over the next sort of 18 months? I just said my question twice and I don't know why.
Yeah. So,
the chat needs it twice.
Thank you. I can catch it. So, I think that when you're looking at the space, you can do 2 things. The first one, to invest in new market, and that will maybe give you a return in 2-3 years. You should be ready to wait. And also, if you invest in seed stage, it can be lock up, and it's a good way. It's what I did, for example, with layer 1 solutions in 2016. 17 and 18, and and also you can try to find a new market. But it's much more risky. For example, if you invest in a market that found product market fit, it's a one thing. And if you invest in the market that didn't find their a product market fit, and I think definitely DeFi found this product market fit. So I would of course, layer 1 is already. I found their product market fit in their last bull run and with this Ethereum development. You have layer 2 that will make Ethereum more accessible, especially for Ethereum layer 2 is important, not for different other networks. And so it's also it is a 100% a problem, $100 per transaction. It's expensive. And so this is a good space and the decentralized finance is already market that has a lot of products that has that work together. And I think it is the best market that has already product market fit, and it's much more cheaper to allocate capital on it than to try to find other markets, that is more complex. But of course, it is some other markets like storage and computations, they still really interesting, but they're more risky, and you just should understand are you where you want to invest, what is your thesis, are you trying to understand one market pretty good, for example, or you try to allocate in all markets. It's the same in venture investment. It's not a lot of funds who can invest in a lot of markets at the same time, and you need a bigger team, and so you just need to try to do something good. And DeFi is a good market. It's a lot of opportunities there.
All right, Ledger. I'm going to ask the chat some questions. Do you have a question while they're searching deep inside their brains to string words together that construct a sentence that a human being can read? Have you got anything while they look for some questions they're going to ask?
I think you might have laid the roadmap for it a little earlier, but you talked about how you invested in ETH in the crowd sale, and then you bought 10 times that, essentially on the way up or in bear markets or on dips, adding to your conviction. I think one of the big questions I'm going to have for those of us who are still trying to make it is we don't have the same access as you two have to early rounds and, you know, pre-sales and all this stuff. So how can we identify value and quality to be able to still find a decent entry in good projects?
Is it a question from you or from the audience?
It's from me.
It's from Ledger. Ledger ain't made it yet. Ledger sells everything for 10%.
I am one with the audience. We're trying to make it here, Konstantin. We're trying to make it.
No, I don't think that it's fair, because like you already like influencers. I mean, everybody. And you know, a lot of people came to me and say like, "Can you introduce to Jordan?" To go like to these guys who is running this show, because and they want to see you as a founders of this show that is doing like a pretty good content, who is like spending their time speaking with different people, so they, you know, like you have a lot of access and a lot of projects will be
Ledger's laughing as a common man. The truth is out, Ledger. The truth is out.
I actually don't. I never do that stuff because like 95% of the stuff that I get shilled is just beyond trash, and I'm not gonna trade audience for a shill, or like audience for allocation, basically. And that's the vast majority of what's out there. So the stuff of quality.
Chat, you've got to look at Ledger's tweets with with a new lens now. Like, is he paid for this tweet? He keeps talking about matcha. He's talking about matcha every fucking day. Is this organic content or is this paid for content?
I paid for every freaking ZRX that I bag hold.
No, but what I try to say is that like not about advertising. If you think that like this project is good, you put money there, you make a disclosure about it, you know, like if you telling what you're doing and you really believe in it, why not? You know, like if you did like everything as you think. But what I try to say is that if you will find a good project, and it will help to you to go inside this round, because you already doing a pretty good work, and people are, who is raising capital, they love founders, they love people who is really doing something, not just speaking.
Yeah.
But for in general, I think that there's some communities like LAO, for example, the LAO and Venture DAO from Metacartel. I'm also one of the participants of this community, and an investor, and like they allocating capital to different projects. And when they started, everyone who want can join like these communities. You can like start new community of people who want to invest, and I think they have a lot of good seed stage. I also helped, for example, LIDO or like allow to invest in Flow, for example. And some other projects, and it was a pretty successful investment. And this is all crypto is about community, about that you can like go together, like start Telegram chat, like all these projects started, a lot of them in Telegram, like as Telegram groups, from about 100 people. They start from 10 people, growing to 100, and start to do something. Try to make a research and to build a group and do something together. And I think any round can be accessible if you will do a good work and build a good community with good values. Projects and these companies they're building DAOs, and they want to build bigger communities, and they're like really interested in big groups who are not only like talking about the price, but who really want to add value to their product, who want to take some role in the product, who want to deliver something. So, and if you will do it, I mean, you can join any round as A16Z join, and this is amazing. I mean, it's reality. I mean, it's possible. I did it, and then if I did it, you also can do it.
I can't believe you dropped Delau and Metacartel Alpha. I've always been surprised that they're like not more popular and like people don't talk about them more often. All right, so there was some questions, but then the chat started laughing at Ledger. so I lost most of them. Someone said, if you had to pick one token, J20705 said, if you had to pick one token and lock it for 5 years, that's not ETH or DeFi or Bitcoin, what would it be? And I'm also going to exclude LIDO from there, because if you say that, that's just bag pumping. That's not allowed.
Yeah. I mean, I would not do it, like I think it will be like, I mean, we should recommend to Bitcoin or Ethereum what is really has their value inside. And if someone want to make a decision on our comments, and we are not giving any advices here, so like I would can say only Bitcoin and Ethereum, because these products like this are blockchains found their product market fit. They have a pretty good community, and amazing communities, and they are really like will exist in like 4 years. And I think, I mean, I would be happy to lock it.
I feel like
other questions from the chat. Someone said, can you please ask him to elaborate on computing? What does computing mean? Does anyone know what this means?
Yeah, I mean that like it is I mean blockchain. So you have different layers. So it's I mean, for example, you need like storage for data, and blockchain is not a solution for it, and that's why we have like solution Filecoin, like Sia, like Swarm, that is building on top of Ethereum. And so, and also, I mean, because it's not really effective to make computation inside blockchains, it is some networks that try to like make a decision, like TrueBit, for example. They did a lot of work on it, and there are some other like Golem and some other networks that try to like make a decentralized computation for different type of products that is needed. I mean, decentralized finance usually don't need computation, or maybe like for some type, but like some other complex things, they need computation that can be, I mean, for example, when Ethereum to zero, when Ethereum will move from mining to staking, it will be a lot of available video cards, like that can be used for computation instead of just mining and calculating hashes.
All right. One more question from chat, and then we've got the final question for the show. Ledger, is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. The final question from the chat that I saw that I liked, it's scrolled away now, so sorry if I don't phrase it correctly or remember your name. But they basically said, if you're pitching VCs, what sort of information do you need? How do you go about it? I'm maybe new to crypto. I'm new to, the VC landscape in crypto. How do you go about raising money and doing something for the first time, starting something?
Yeah, I think it's the same like usual startup, and you can look at how people raising or like Y Combinator or in other any other like area of business. If you want to rise from like VCs, I mean, you can just follow to make a deck about all. I mean, it's a classic deck when you try to find the problem and you show the solution. You show like what is their market fit and what is their size of the market, and you just picture. I mean, you can try to build MVP already if you don't need money. You can try. I think the best way to find a technical co-founder is really important to deliver like the first version of, minimal valuable product. And if you like in this market, you can raise money pretty easy, but usually like in classic market, usually it's like people who invest in a pre-seed stage is 3F, it's family, friends and fools, and this is a simple rule how to raise a startup. And when you try to raise a crypto market, you just need a good deck and find a good team. But also it is a lot of unclassic way how you can launch the product that are more popular. I'm not really big believer in fair launch, how they were presented by some parties on the market, because most of them were not fair. I mean, some people had insights like pre-mined tokens, and that's all, and like another way. And also I think that the team who built this product should be rewarded. Why? Because they did a lot of tasks, they would take a lot of risk, they did a lot of work, and they should be like incentivized in some way. But I mean, you can build the product and also launch alpha, and for example, like on Reddit with Y Finance. But you need like someone who, if you are not technical by yourself, you need someone who will help to build the product and MVP, and then like raise capital inside the DAO, for example. I think, even ICO is a good thing for the market because it's access. It's like a cheap IPO, and when you can raise money all over the world. But the problem is that, I mean, when you like give it to retail investor, and they usually maybe don't understand like how it's work. And so like maybe evolution of ICO when you can put money out in some way, or like when you're raising and market will already understand how it's work, will work also pretty well for fundraising in the future. But we see it's not, I mean, as I said, like the market is pretty different right now. So I hear more and more people who want to raise money, not from VCs, but more from founders.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We got one final question. Ledger rugged his own camera because his wife just got home at the same time as his girlfriend, and there's a whole drama going on. You can't see it, but like,
it's my
stressful.
kids. You can hear the crying in the background. It's my kids. But go ahead.
So Konstantin, we end all of our episodes with the same question, where we ask the guest for a piece of alpha for the chat, and it's something that the viewers can take away and improve their life with. They can make them healthier, it can make them happier, it can make them more fulfilled, it can make them richer, it can make them wiser. Just some teaching that you would like passed on through generations from yourself into the future. Maybe something you'll tell your kids, maybe something that your kids will tell their kids, some free alpha, some wise teaching that we can pass on to up-only listeners forever. What have you got for us?
Yeah, I just want to say that you need to like switch off the video like when it's finished, yeah, and start and do what you believe. And I think that, I mean, if I am from Kaliningrad, from a small city like in Russia, start like now investing in all this crypto space and are invested in a lot of unicorns, it means that everyone can do it, and you can be successful if you like this market. You just need to start doing something and doing for long term. Believe in it, even in crazy ideas. When we pitched it in 2014, 2015, 2016, when we invested in it, nobody understands that it's a market. Nobody believe in it, but we should believe. We should believe that the future is decentralized. That we will build a new cloud nation one day, and together, and just do it long term, and you will be successful.
Thanks so much, Konstantin. Ledger, any parting words from you or your kids?
Thanks so much for being here. Y'all are great. Konstantin, biggest brain on Up Only yet, maybe. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for joining us. We'll put all the links to Konstantin's stuff if you check out uponly.tv. Also go to uponly.tv/Blockfolio. Download Blockfolio today. Make a trade. You can go instantly from one asset to the other. You can also track your portfolio with your diamond hands. Just never sell. Don't even press that sell button. Just hold like Konstantin does, and maybe you too can make it. Thanks to Blockfolio for being our partner. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ledger. Bye, Konstantin.